So I think if there's one thing that absolutely has to change is that we have to become places of learning instead of places of teaching. I think far too often when we think of schools, we think of places where kids go to get taught something, or where teachers have a very distinct role, which is to convey or to deliver information. We all have to become learners in school communities, and until the adults in the room see themselves as learners, I think it's going to be difficult for, again, those more systemic changes to take place. I mean, as I said earlier today, it really is an amazing time to learn. Yet, too often in schools, we don't let kids take advantage of those opportunities because we ourselves don't fully comprehend and understand what those opportunities are. So until we become learners first, until we see ourselves as models of learning, as kind of master learners in the classroom, I think it's going to be very difficult to provide kids the types of opportunities that they need right now to explore all of the affordances of access, all of the tools that they can create with, all the ways that they can connect with other people. And that's a shame. So we have to do the work first. I don't know how changerous of an idea that is, but it's a shift definitely in the way that we look at ourselves in schools.
My changerous idea actually is where I started with this discussion, and that is that we will see the end of school as we know it, and we will see people let go of a lot of those things that have been sacred till now in their ideas about school. And they'll do that because they now have a confidence and a competence in the ways that technology can support what they're trying to achieve. And not only support what they have been achieving with young people before, but understand that the technology now will empower them to achieve so much more. Our biggest problem has been that people have tried to see technology allowing them to do what they did before. Not just in the way that, for instance, word processing is a substitute for pen and paper, but largely people's expectations, both from a curriculum and assessment, have been guided very much by the existing standards. When this is quite absurd, because the technology allows our young people to undertake far more complex, more relevant, deeper, broader ideas and expand their opportunities through the use of their technologies in unprecedented ways. That's my changerous idea, that we're going to see a shift in culture that's going to build collaboration between teachers, between schools, and a sharing of ideas that will enable young people to leverage the technology and open up their learning possibilities to genuinely give them a freedom to learn.
I've heard already today teachers talking about teaching their kids to collaborate. The reality is that teachers are the worst collaborators I've ever met. That's because we've never been taught it. We've gone through university, through experience, through our organisations, and no one has collaborated. Teachers are fantastic at having coffee together, but they don't know how to work together. And the same universities that taught teachers how to be teachers, solo practitioners, and do everything by yourself, we're teaching business students how to do it in a collaborative team. So it's I think it's an interesting notion that the capacity has been there to teach teachers. So my changerous idea is teachers need to have a collaboration coach in their classrooms. They need a bit like a football game. If you think a game of soccer, if a person stopped before the goal to ask permission to kick the ball in, well, the game's over. You'd be wiped out in a second. And why does that not happen? Because you've got leadership occurring on the field. You've got the captain of the team who's given permission and training for what's going on. And you've got the coach also going through the prepared game and giving the alternative strategies. Now, in a classroom context, when you've got 4 or 5 teachers working together, if they don't know how to look at where the ball's going, not where it is now, they're going to flounder. And I think that's the reality why so many of the open classroom experiments notionally of the 70s and the 80s failed. It's because you shoved people in together and no one was there coaching them. And there's also been a confusion between coaching and supervision. Coaching's not about getting rid of a teacher because you think they're bad. It's actually about improving them and bringing them up to their best potential. So that would be one idea. That's the micro. The macro, I'd be an advocate for removing quite a few jobs within a school and replacing them with jobs that are required. Another job that I think is urgently required in a large community is a sustainability coach, because school's going on for ages about teaching the kids environmentalism and all that sort of stuff. I'm a complete 100% supporter of that, but no one's actually holding them to account, and no one's actually holding the staff to account about how do they use electricity, how do they waste paper, what does the staff do with their rubbish. We actually need to get someone in there who's designing an industrial system which will improve the way in which we actually operate. So I think the idea of coaching in schools would be my Changerous idea, and it's unlimited the number of coaches, but I guess back to my first one, collaboration coach.